everybody. We hope that you're
Hello.
doing good. I am Raymond Sharp. This is my lovely wife.
Tanesha Sharp.
And we're here to
Jump
jump in.
in.
Jump in is a time that we come together. We talk about real life, real issues, and we want to help you all go to the next level. And today we're going to talk about rejection. And I think rejection is something that we all have experienced in some form or another. We want to talk about the negative ramifications of rejection that we may not realize. Sometimes we go through situations where we feel like things don't go the way we expect them to. We feel like people, the ones that we love and care about, they no longer love and care about us, seemingly from reasons that we don't understand. And sometimes the most dangerous part of that rejection is really rejecting things that come to you that you're supposed to receive. Sometimes we receive one person's rejection as the reality and fact about ourselves. In true reality, that's their perception. It's not the real reality, and they may have ulterior motives as to why they may seemingly have rejected you, but you cannot use that as a tool and vehicle to say, now that this is how this person sees me, or that person sees me, or that group sees me, this is who I am, this is what I need to assimilate to, and anything that comes to me that actually may be good for me, I have to stay in this seat or place that another person or in a group of individuals may have placed me.
It just really shapes your world in a sense of...
Well, you allow it to.
Yeah, you allow it to shape how you view yourself. I mean, pretty much you just said it all.
No, it's okay. Say it all.
No, it was good. I mean, I don't want to just repeat what you said, but it's very important to really just receive, just not allow the rejection to, really clout your vision. To, it'll mess up your decision making.
Yes. And
just, just how you view a lot of stuff. Because of it,
I've seen some people, when it comes to relationships per se, they will, if they got rejected by a person, and it could be someone that may be, really good for them, but because, they feel like in their mind, relationships, they always start out this way. They always start out sweet and nice, and then they turn on you. It's like they push off and reject as a defense, as a defense mechanism. And we have to be very careful that we heal from the rejection that we've experienced. That rejection can come from our parents, it can come from our friends, it can come from our family, and we can't allow it, it can be a motivator, but it shouldn't be a deciding force. And the thing I say is a motivator. Sometimes, some of the things I feel like I got rejected. Sometimes one thing somebody told me that I couldn't believe they told me is that I remember sharing with someone that I wanted to be, going to real estate. And at this time, I still had I worked at a university and had a good job. And I said, I want to help people with homes. I want to do this. I want to do that. They're like, you'll never be able to do that. You just need to progress in your field if you want to make more money. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And they basically told me everything that they said I could not do, I'm doing it now. So I'm like, man, but see, the thing is, they couldn't wrap their mind around, why would you want to leave this good job? Why would you want to go out and do these things? You always said you wanted this track or this thing. And sometimes you have to be careful with people who reject the future you that they don't understand.
Oh, that is so good.
Yeah.
That is so good. And that's why, that is so much in that. I mean, that's why it's so important to marry the right person.
Yes.
Definitely to see beyond, where you are now, and they need to see a future. They need to see you at, going to the next level. They need to see that, and they need to be able to want to encourage you to get there and help promote you, push you to that next level. Oh my gosh, that is very important. Yeah. Because had you listened and received that, you wouldn't be, the very thing you're supposed to be doing, you wouldn't be doing it. I mean, that's huge. I feel the same way too. I feel like if I would have married the wrong person, we talk about this all the time. Marrying the wrong person can really hinder and stop, you from moving forward in the things that you're supposed to be doing in such a big way. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother topic. But you gotta receive what you're supposed to be doing and not allow people. Or sometimes we want the approval so bad that when they don't give you that approval, you just don't move out on what you're supposed to be doing because they didn't validate you.
Yeah, and one thing I want to correct, sometimes we look at sometimes when someone says, "Hey, no," or "not right now," don't look
Yeah,
at it
that's
as
not it. Yeah,
rejection.
that's not what we're talking
rejection.
about.
They can, and
That's something
sometimes
different because timing is everything.
timing is
Yeah,
everything.
that's not what we're talking about.
And sometimes some people can see that you're not disciplined like you need to be disciplined to step out and to do certain endeavors. Some people see that you're doing it for the wrong reason. And I'm gonna be real with you. One of the things, matter of fact, one of the reasons we even do jump in,
Yeah.
I just want to help people.
Yeah.
That out of everything I've done when I was working in education, even in real estate, I like to still educate people on multiple processes, share as much information as I know to help people go to the next level. I just want to help people. This is another vehicle for me to help people. That's my true passion. And of course, I'm grateful that it's been able to, bless us financially.
Yes.
But at the same time, it's like I still like to see people enabled. I like to see people encouraged. So don't call something that is not.
Yeah,
sometimes when we realize things about ourselves, we can't say, well, they rejected me, or they don't believe in me, or they don't believe in my dreams. It's not that. It's like, let me help you go to the next level. Let's slow this down and go this route right here. It may take a little bit longer in your eyes, but you'll be better equipped to handle it.
Yeah, because I mean, if we can be honest, when you first met me, I would, there were things I needed help with, and same here.
We both did.
Yeah, we both needed help, and why not help each other? Like I think that's one of the most beautiful things about our relationship and our marriage is that we're constantly looking for ways to make things better, to improve one another. And I think it's been it's a blessing to me, and I hope I'm a blessing to you as well.
You are.
And that because it's nothing like it. I mean, if y'all focus on it, and that's why you got to get out of the mindset of me, everything just all about you. Like, shift your focus and see what you can do to help your spouse or anybody that's close to you, a friend. You should be a person that people will say, oh my gosh, she adds value to me. She pushes me, she motivates me. She doesn't allow me to get stuck. She doesn't allow me to, just stay at a level that you're supposed to be at a whole different level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I think that's super important.
Yeah. I'm going to encourage you all, if you feel like at any point in your life, and I mean at any point, because rejection is something that'll linger like a bad smell.
Yes, it will.
You have to kind of find out where was the area of rejection. Again, some of us have been rejected by our parents. Some of us have been rejected by our peers. Some of us have been rejected romantically. Yeah. Some of our teachers have told us some things that they never should have said about us. They never should have spoken that over our lives. We have to find where's the seed of that rejection. What am I doing because I've received rejection? And again, rejection is very dangerous.
How is it affecting your life? Yeah.
I remember telling a young lady one time, and she was telling me about something that would happen to her. I said, that doesn't define the rest of your life, right? She was young. She had to be like maybe 20, 21, 22. I said, that doesn't define the rest of your life, right? And she was like, what do you mean by that? And I said, I feel like how you're speaking like that's it. Like this is like the defining moment of your life. This rejection is going to shape the way you think for the rest of your life. I said, your life isn't always going to be like this. And she said, I really needed to hear that because she said, I was starting to make all these decisions based upon this one negative thing where I felt like I had got rejected. And I said, no, don't do that. Look at the big picture. Like think about everything else that can change after this situation. And sometimes, I'm just going to make it even more practical. I'm like working in sales. Sometimes I hear no a lot.
Yeah.
And I can't say, well, I'm not supposed to do this because I hear no. And that's this person's opinion. But there's somebody else that's going to have a different opinion that's going to need all the services that I have. So no matter what that rejection is, shake it off. Don't let it shape you. Don't let it motivate you. Don't let it stop you. Of course, take time to get over it because sometimes it does hurt. It's disappointing. But at the same time, learn from it, bounce back, and don't let people's lack of understanding. Some people reject what they don't understand. And sometimes we do a poor example. We do a poor job explaining it.
Yes.
You want to talk about that a little bit?
Especially with your spouse. I mean, you got to kind of give them a little bit more detail or, what I'm saying, if this person is, especially when you, like I said, when you're married, what doesn't work or what trouble that you have going on, it affects your spouse. So when you're going through certain things, so it's like, if you're not giving them enough information and they say, okay, I don't see how this can work. All I see is this stressing you out. All I see is this overwhelming you. All I see is, all the negative. because of maybe some previous behavior that you may have shown.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you don't give them enough information as far as, no, I've got stuff, I got something in place if this happens. This is my plan A, B, and C. And, really explaining the whole vision behind what you're trying to do, and almost kind of selling it in a sense, but your spouse you have to have more details.
Yeah.
It just helps. And you have to know how to communicate it to them, even knowing the timing of when to communicate it to them. When they first come through the door, that's not the time to, say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. And then when they're like, make sure they're in a time, the timing is right when they're actually, still enough. And y'all in a, because sometimes we have moments where like, hey, is this a good time to talk?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your opportunity to go ahead and bring up or just share what you want to share that's on your heart. But make sure that person's in a place where they're not busy, they're not on their phone, or you have those opportunities, and make sure you have opportunities to talk when you're really, really trying to explain something. And I think we do a good job with that.
Yeah.
You always make sure we have moments to discuss certain things that may have happened, because you can't always bring up stuff or talk about stuff. It's just not the time. It's not always right. But when you find the time, or make time, you have to make time. If you don't have time, make time for those serious conversations where you actually listening to each other and working through some of those issues.
Yeah.
Why you looking at me?
No, you said it all.
I mean, it's important. It's important to properly explain what it is that you're trying to do, because that means a lot.
It does.
And just take your time. And the other person, even if you don't understand, just sit there and listen. If you are able to do some research for your spouse or for someone that's your friend or whatever, to kind of fill in some of those gaps, that adds value, especially if you really want to, push that other person forward.
Yeah, and I would say this, work on, building consistency. And this is even when you're trying to overcome some of the traumatic issues that come with rejection. You got to be consistent at working on it, because sometimes we allow things to consistently beat us down.
Yeah,
we allow something negative someone said about us to replay in our head. We got to get over that
over and over and over again. And if you find yourself doing that, get to the that's the root, or pull up that root of that issue or where it came from, and be healed from that. Forgive that person, release them, and you always have to step out of the situation and say, hey, what was that person going through during that time to say something like that? That person may not have, just like you said, they may not have the understanding. And so you have to really, really step back and really process how everything went down even during that time, because they could have been off. I mean, have you ever had a conversation with someone and you remind them of something that they said in the past, and it was like, I would have never said nothing like that. They said that. I believe that happens too sometimes. They probably, if you ever would have brought it up now, they'd be like, I would have never told you to not do that. And you're like, no, you told me not to do it. And sometimes it's just, they don't even remember what they said. And it was almost just an attack on you, to get you to not move forward. Because yeah. I hope this is helping.
Yeah, we hope this helped y'all. Listen, don't let rejection keep you stuck. And then one last thing, if you don't mind, something that just hit me. Don't do things in spite of what someone said.
Or like I'm gonna prove them wrong. Oh yeah, don't do that.
My example at the beginning was because I really felt like I was progressing into another area. And the person I shared this with, they just was like, nah, that's not good for you. But really, they just didn't understand me and my desire to help people, because I had encountered some things. And in the future, I'm going to share with y'all some of the real reasons I decided to go into real estate. But listen, so don't do anything in spite of somebody else, because you will stress yourself out. You won't set real goals, and everything will be about stunting on the person that told you that said you couldn't do it.
And then you find yourself out of your lane.
Way out your lane.
Way out your lane, which will cause failure, frustration, like everything. That it will just, you will just fall apart as a person. And so stay in your lane.
Don't compound the rejection with other issues.
With other issues. You're just making it worse. So if you find yourself in this, be healed today. Be healed.
All right. Well, look, thank you so very much for joining us for this session of Jump In. Y'all take care.
Yes.
And until next time, we want you to what?
Jump in. Have a wonderful day.
Y'all take care.
Bye.